All right, we're gonna be getting started in a second or two. See if this extra light that I installed is gonna make the green screen a little bit better for us today. Let's go ahead and studio mode and then turn that on. So close. I'm still getting all this stuff. The shadows are a little bit better. Let's see if I can fiddle with the settings for just a second. Nope, that's making it worse. That made it significantly better. Now the microphone is sort of shining. I wonder if I could. Made that go away. Okay, this is working. So I see like there's this strange shadow right here, and that's because the light is behind the camera. And so I think this is creating one shadow, and the camera is creating another sort of interesting shadow right into my face. But the green screen is acting a little bit better for right now, so that's there is that. That's good. But let's go ahead and get started here. So if we wanted to continue where we left off last time, we were gonna do ASCII art. So we've tried this before on stream, and it wasn't working. And it's been a while, and I think I have an idea of how I want to solve this, which is if I figure out how many to start to go with. We have this for loop in here, which is looping through and getting us each line that we have in this example right here. So like the Manhattan example, which is each line of A, B, C, D, E, and all the way on through question mark. So let's see what we have here. If we print these, so currently looks like this is ePrint line for an error. So play the test case and see what it gets out. So this is just giving us E over and over and over again, which is the first only one letter, E. That's in words.length. And then the other thing we want to take a look at is the line itself. Input line is here. Input line unwrap. Mute input line. Let row equals input line trim right to string. So let's also take a look at what row is. So the print line row. We'll try this again and take a look. So yeah, we can see, okay, so this is the first part of the ABCD. This is the second right here. This is the third, fourth, and fifth. So the idea is here, we have to decide what are we going to print out. We want to print out multiple things, right? We need to print out, well, basically it was expecting multiple print lines. So no print line here, but rather all the print lines in here. So if we take a look at what E is, let's go ahead and take a look at the inputs here for E. So it's saying 4, 5, and E. If we take a look at it's 5 down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is how tall each of the letters are, and 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is how wide each letter is, including the space after it. So if we begin with the one that it's on, so if we take a look at E here, that would be one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters in. So 5 times 4 would be 20. Should that be right here? So let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. That's 1, 2, 3, 5. That seems pretty off. Unless I'm going to begin with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because then it would be 16. Then that would be, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Okay, so if I start with 0, then that math seems to work, I believe. So I want to begin a loop essentially inside of there, and I want to grab these characters. And it doesn't really have to be a loop, does it? It has to be just like a string slice. Because it's a full string on the heap. So I just want, like, starting with position 16 through 16 plus 4, and just print that out for each iteration through for the 5 times. I don't even need to know if I need to care about the height at this point in time, because each row is going to be given to me like this. So let's try grabbing a slice. So let's also remind ourselves how to do that. So string slice rest. Function the slice type. This function, first word, has a string as a parameter. We don't want ownership, so this is fine. But what should we return? Okay, index is part of the word. We don't want that. String slices. A string slice is a reference to part of a string, and it looks like this. So let s equal string from, then hello equals ampersand s, and then square brackets 0, like x dot dot 5. And I think this is inclusive and this is exclusive. So let's try that. So we're gonna get let slice equals, it's gonna be our row, I think it's ampersand row, and we want to start at, for E, it's going to start at 16, and it's going to go to 4 plus 16, 21, because we want it to be exclusive. And then we want to print this. So print line slice. Okay, so let's save this and try E. So failure, we found, okay, so we got the 3 hash marks, then we got 1 extra one. So actually 20 might be the correct thing here. So plus the 4 is correct. And so that correctly does E, but of course it won't do it for each letter for a longer word because of that. Now inside of here, for index in here, these are the actual words. These are the letters that we want to do. So we actually want to do our print line. Do we want a print line for this, or rather we're going to build up a vector of these string slices to then print out, and then we're going to print them? That's my guess is that we're going to do. So let's see if we can do the E programmatically. So let's begin with okay. Let what are we going to call this? It's going to be our slices. So like letter parts equals, it's going to be a vector, but we have to then say what this vector is. Although it'll auto figure this out. So equals vec new, and we need to make sure that this is mutable so we can push to it. Okay, so we have words index, which means we can just say let letter equals words of index, just to make that a little bit simpler for us to reason about. That is 0 words dot length. I don't know if we have ownership of this or if it's a borrow right now. I'd have to look a little bit closer into here. We now know that this works, so I can get rid of it. So we're going to get a bunch of slices for it. So what do we need to do? We need to figure out what the letter is, and we need to have some kind of structure that we can give a letter, and it will give us back the number to multiply by. So, for example, if we have a struct up here, so if we have struct alphabet, and inside of it it would be something like A. This was capital E, wasn't it? These ones are not capital, so we could just do A, and this is going to be a string. Do I care about it being... So I could do a... I think a string is going to be fine. Like that. A is a string, B is a string, and then, for example, we can have E, which is a string. Otherwise, I could do an enum and just say like, hey, the letter is this, and do a struct that holds these enums to find them. Otherwise, I might just do this to make it really easy and just like manually write, like hard code this in and say like, okay, A is a string, B is a string, E is a string, for example. Let's try just E on its own. So E is a string. Did this not work? I was expecting this to have color coding to be purple like this here. But okay, so if we do this, then we can create a new version, a new instance of alphabet here, and then store E as a string inside of it. Let's do this here. So let mute. Oh, and this should be a capital A. Because now I can call this alphabet cap with a lowercase equals alphabet, and we're going to call E is, what do I care about here? I care about how long that is, and we happen to know that that is 4. So it's actually not a string. This is going to be a it can be an unsigned 32-bit because it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be negative. All the letters are going to be positive. So let's do a U32 here, and then here we're just going to set this to 4. Okay, so that gives us alphabet here. And now that I think about it, I don't need to make this mutable at all, because once I set this, I'm only reading it. Then inside of here, we have our letter parts. we have our letter. We need to say, okay, grab this out. So grab this number out. I wonder if I can just do an ePrint line here. And all I care about saying at this point in time is, I can even just do print line, just to it'll be the end result that we see, and it will fail, of course, but I don't really care about that. What I wanted to put is can I get this 4? It's going to be alphabet dot e, and really it's going to be alphabet dot letter dot to lowercase, like that. All right, let's see if we can get the 4 out. No field letter on type alphabet dot letter. If I just do dot e its own, will I get it? No method name to lowercase found for type U32. Oh, I don't want. I would want the other thing. This one will give me type annotations needed. Let meter letter parts equals vec new. Right, so because I haven't started using that, I don't need to put that in there. And okay, got 4. Perfect. That was a lot of times. I'm actually kind of surprised at the number of times that printed out. Okay, so we've got that. Then what I want to be able to get is access it. Maybe have an implementation here. So I can implement alphabet, and we're going to say, okay, function get letter. We're going to take in a reference to self, and we're going to take in a reference to a string. And we're going to return a unsigned 32-digit number. And so what we need to do is ask alphabet to get the letter or the letter there, and we need to grab this. I need, okay, so struct get element variable. Rust. That's 1.8 book. Defining instantiated structs, maybe. Mutate. Let's try finding instantiating structs in the 2nd edition. Okay, so we are creating the structure just like this. How are we going to grab out dynamically? Is that a square bracket for it, or is it something else? Unit like structs without any fields. You know what I feel like? I feel like I would rather do the rest by example structs, because I bet they have something here. So rest by example structures. So here's a person, pair point. Okay, so person, name, age. Point.x, point.y, that's for getting out, but if we don't know which one we want, make a new point using this. tuple pair. Okay, but accessing that. Destructure, tuple pair. Line pair contains. I guess I could do a match. That seems like it might end up getting pretty crazy if I match against it. Like if I say, instead of print line here, so alphabet.e, I can't do alphabet.letter, right? Dot to lower. Expected one of colon or 0 found. Oh, I don't actually need this because I'm not using it. No field letter. Okay. If I change you to square brackets, cannot index into a value of type alphabet. Alphabet letter to lowercase. Right, so we can't index into that. How do we, okay. Oh, I want to go here. So it's Rust struct variable access, I guess access key by variable. Oh, you know what? I probably don't want a struct then. I probably want a hash map. Rust hash map. Yeah, just thinking about this. User standard collections hash map. We create a new hash map, and then we can insert by this, and then get by. How do we get? Oh, is it just entry? No, I think we don't want an entry. Keys and iterator, visiting all keys in arbitrary order. Don't need that. Gets the given keys corresponding entry in the map for in-place manipulation. Don't need to do that. Get. Returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. So this is what I want to do. I want to do a hash map, not a normal struct. So standard collections hash map. Let's go ahead and do this instead. So use standard collections hash map. We don't want a structure alphabet. For right here, what we're going to do is let alphabet equals hash map new, and then we're immediately going to add to this alphabet. So alphabet inserts, and we're going to put in e, so lowercase e, and this is going to be 4. Okay. So that should figure out what it's going to be. Then in here, we can get by this. So print line, alphabet, let's just reset this. I actually need this to be a little bigger for myself. So reset you. So we're going to go into alphabet.get, and then we're going to pass it in letter.to lowercase, like that. Okay, so let's try this. Where's my Oh, that's kind of annoying. Try this, make sure we print out. Failed to resolve, use an undeclared type or module. Alphabet. Alphabet. Oh, it's right there. Failed to resolve, use of undeclared type or module alphabet. In answer line 32. So alphabet is a new hash map. And then we insert. Okay, let's make sure I'm initializing correctly. Let mute book reviews hash map new. I think I just need to make sure it's mutable. Okay, you're still unhappy about that. Let me make sure I actually copied this and like wrote that in correctly here. Wait. Yep, I didn't see anything different there. And then it's going to be copy this and paste in here and just change it back to alphabet. Oh, it's still saying that. Okay. So we have let mute alphabet equals a new hash map. Hash map is brought into the global scope here. And alphabet in... Oh, is it not? Is it not? It's dot insert. It's not a... okay. Dot insert. That's what the problem is. Mismatch types. Print line. Alphabet.get. Letter.to lowercase expected reference. Found struct standard string. Oh, so because letter's not a reference. So to lowercase doesn't work on it. It's a full string. Let's go take a look at, so search string. It's actually standard string. See if we can get like a to lowercase. Two lowercase is on here. Pass is in a full function, a full new string. Oh wait. Does .get doesn't want to take ownership. So I need to borrow here like that. What are you upset about now? The trait bound reference to string centered borrow string is not satisfied on line 43 here. Print line alphabet.get letter to lowercase, the trait standard borrow is not implemented for a stir. Let me make sure that this works the way I really want it to. So I want to, on this get, to just pass in E like that. And if I just do a literal like that, it is a stir. Display is not, so I can do a that sum 4. Okay, perfect. Which means I want to dot unwrap either crash or get it. That's what we want. Which means you don't need to be that way anymore. Now it should just be 4. So perfect. That's how we get that. However, if this ends up being a string, we need a reference. Is there a to reference? as bytes as stir extracts a string slice, so as stir. So if I do well, okay, so words index dot to lower case that, and then we can say letter dot as stir. Try this. Red main panicked and called option unwrap on a none value. Right. Well, wait a second. You should have been full. Okay. Let's take a look at what letter is at this point in time. Is it lowercased? It is. Okay, so it is lowercased. Interesting that it found nothing, but these things are being printed out. If I do the error print line, what does that change the output here? Like pretty much nothing. Okay, so we have our hash map. We're able to get into that. We have a string that's been lowercase letter for this. So we now need to get as a stir for it to get the letter. How do I want to do that? I can't give ownership to the hash map. So when I do the get, it needs to pass it a reference. There's the as stir. I don't see like an as ref or anything else. Let's try the as stir again. Okay, so as stir again. But maybe this time we'll put it into here. So we can say let, it's going to be a it's going to be our integer, like the amount to go through that we really want to get dynamically here. So let's try. We have letter. We have how many letters? Index. Letter index equals. It's going to be our alphabet dot get, and we need to pass in a reference. So it's going to be letter dot as stir that. And then we want to take a look at what letter index is. Dot unwrap. And in reality, I just want to do that. None, sum for, none, sum for. Oh, interesting. So it's going through, and sometimes it's going for, oh, that's very interesting. It is calling this in words.length when there's only one letter. At least it feels like there's only one letter here, but it's really doing this loop multiple times. What is words? ePrint line. words. And I probably have to debug that. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's a char, but that means it has like the beginning and ending in on it. So if I'm going through here, if it can find something, then I want it to grab it. So I should probably either do a let, an if let, or I can do a just a match. Because I just care if it's something or none, right? Yeah. Let me try this. I don't need you. Going letter index, alphabet get. So here's our letter index. Then let's match on letter index, which means I can really just match on you. Match, not letter index, but on alphabet.get this. And inside of here, we're going to get some or none. So if we're some, we're going to take in the index, and I can call this I maybe. And what do I want to do with this? Let's just print line the I here. Otherwise, we're going to get the none, and I don't really care what happens here. I'm just going to ignore that. Try this. Try again. Expected expression found. Okay, so I can't do that. I can never remember what like a throwaway is here. Oh, maybe I could just do this, that. No, it's gonna be none. And what do I want to do? Like a continue? I guess continue in this loop because I don't really care. Four. Okay, perfect. So now I'm getting the fours, and I'm not printing anything else out that I have to. So let's try this with the. If I'm getting this 4, we've matched the index. We now need to print out. Let's make this a block here. We're now gonna for loop through the row. No, we're gonna create the string slice and then add it to this vector here. So we're gonna say letter parts dot push, and what we're gonna push in is this string slice, which is a reference to row, and it's gonna be 16 in, right? Which is 4 times the 4 that we got here. And the 4, we know the 4 is from what? The width of the letter L. So L times I. And that should give us that. And then it's going to be dot dot. Oh, okay. Let's do this just right up here. So let sort of beginning, we can call this start, equals L times I, and let end equals start plus 4, And now we can say start, end. We push that into there. Start, end. This goes into letter parts. We now want to come to the end. We continue if there's none in there. Once we're done with this for loop, we should have all of the letter parts, and now we want to loop through the letter parts. So for part in letter parts dot iter. Let's just print line. The part. And let's see if we get the E. The trait bound, string, string, string. Range I32 is not satisfied. For start end cannot be indexed by range I32. Oh, so by default, these are coming in as I32s, aren't they? So we need them to be as U32. Expected I32 found U32. Oh wait, what is L? It's an I32. What if I just make you a U32? Oh, cannot be indexed by U32 either. So the trait standard string string cannot be satisfied. So hold on. So if I begin this with just saying start is the number 16, start plus 4, will that work? Okay, so this works. When we get our E out of here. So our default here is working. If we do this as U32, this does not work, right? Yeah. What is it? Does it mean U size? Okay, so it needs to be U size. So up here, just come in as U size. So let's see if where did I get started again? It's going to be the L times I, and I could set I can tell it to be a U size. Start plus 4. Okay, so that's working. So it's figuring out this E. And it's pushing it in there, and then we're printing them out. Now, if I come in here, and we want to do the next one, which is Manhattan, which is handing us MANHATTAN. So we need to add in, so alphabet.insert ES4. So let's actually just duplicate this. So what do we need? We need an M. We don't know what that is right now. We need an A. We need to duplicate this one. We need an N. An H. This is not a very fast way of doing this. I could programmatically create this also, but for right now, I just care about testing this one as it is. An A, we've already got. So M-A-N-H. So we need an H and a T. That's it. An A. We have the H. So now one more, the T. Okay, so we need to find out what position in the alphabet each of these are, and then add them in. And I think that we were starting with E. We take a look at Manhattan. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so we're starting with that. So if we say E is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is the M. A is going to be 0. MN, so this is 13. H. So 0, 1, or 4, 5, 6, 7 for H. And if N is 13, uh, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, let's see if this works. Check. That one works. This one does not work. We got some weird stuff going on. So we wanted it to go all the way across, and instead it looks like it just went straight down. Probably because our print line is doing a single letter part, and then it's moving on to the next line that goes again. So I wonder, can I not print to standard out with print line? Or do I need to? Because I have. Or I wonder if I can print the line here. Like, I match the letter. I've got the row. Where's the rows? Here's the row. We get each individual letter. Okay, so we're in one loop. We're in this loop right here, which is for each line down, each row down. So we're doing it properly in that way. The problem is that we need to not have a new line until the very end, until we reach the end of here. So how can I skip a new line? Let's find that out. Rust print out new line. You can use the print macro instead. Okay, so print, enter the number. Okay, because it's not print line, it's print, and then we may need to IO standard out flush also. So let's come into here. For this, we'll print part. Let's see if that actually works. Oh, so take a look at this. It wrote. Oh, well, I now need to, after I go through there, do a print line that with nothing. That makes that one work. Will this make Manhattan work? It does. Manhattan now works. Which means this one should also work because I'm already lowercasing them. Now, this one, does this work? It has some interesting characters in here. What am I supposed to get out? Oh, question mark. If it can't find it, print the question mark. Okay, got it. So inside of here, we're going to do alphabet.insert question mark. And what position is that? So our latest one was a T at 19. A T, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. All right, so let's try this one now. Expected type, found 26. Oh, I forgot to semicolon that. And then, okay, you're also supposed to be a comma, not a type. And then the other thing that I remember here is now, if we get, so some I, if we get none, so alphabet get letter as string. If we get an at symbol, we need to know what this letter is. So if letter is equal to ampersand, I kind of want to if letter is okay, so none can basically now say we want to push the question mark one. Which means, and so it's either going to be that, or we're going to just have it find the question mark here with alphabet.get letter as string and then pass it in the question mark, as opposed to like a lowercase letter. I guess the problem is we'll get the sum, we'll get the none. I think here, I vaguely remember when we looked through it, it was a completely empty string, right? When we looked at letter. Let's try this again. Eprint line letter. And I'm going to put in letter like that. I'm just going to say continue like that as before. And let's take a look at the E again. Expected function found macro eprint line. Bang. Letter just empty. So can I say, I do if letter equals empty string, then I want to eprint line that. That way we only get the empty letters in here. Okay, and then we get the answer, and so it's success. Perfect. So what this means is I just want to continue here. Continue like that. Now down here, if we get a none, it's really some unknown thing, and so we want to just get this question mark and do that one, which means we're going to push in the last one. So let start equals L times whatever this one. Oh, wait. If letter is this, continue, we can say that this is mutable. So mute letter, else, oh, I know. We don't do, no, we do want to continue. So sorry. Else, if it's something crazy, I guess it's not really helping at this point in time. We always know that it's going to be the 26 along there. So we could even just not have this here, but I think I'm going to keep it in as essentially documentation about where this magic number 26 is coming from, which, because like I want to get this alphabet get letter as string, but if it's not something we recognize, which we won't know until we actually attempt to get it. So none of this means that we're gonna have to get it as the question mark. It doesn't make as much sense. I almost feel that it maybe shouldn't be in here, but outside of alphabet, we could just say let question mark equals 26. Then in here, we can say question mark that end equals start plus 4, and then letter parts dot push a slice of row start to end, just like that. Let's see if this still works for E. It does. Manhattan does. Oh, and for E does, and for the crazy one, it does not. Thread main panicked at byte index 108 is out of bounds of. Oh, so I went out of bounds of the row. So 26 is not correct. C, it's gonna be annoying, but let's actually count what we got here. Make sure our math is correct. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it is 26 for this question mark. And it is the L, right? So starting with the L times, so that's the length of the letter times question mark, which is 26. Then the end is start through 4. Letter parts is that. So in this one we have 4. 4 is this. So 4 times 26 is what? Okay, let's actually just gonna use my calculator here because that's simpler and won't result in me doing something weird, like being really bad at math. 4 times 26. 104. Do we have that many here? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is annoying for that. let's actually just count. Here we have a row. We're not counting through the row, but maybe we can just print the row length. So print line row length row dot length that. Row length 107. Interesting. So if 104 is the beginning, 107 is only 3 more than that. So I would have to, for this one, do end -1 to start only +3 then. It looks close. Oh, but not really. For this first line here, it starts right, but then it's just off. What were we supposed to get? Oh, it found this, expected this. So yeah, it is expecting this one right here. I need to push in a space between these. Oh, wait a second. Does it not? The question mark ends right here because it's not really 4 wide. 0, 1, 2, 2, 4. That's how wide each one are at. I feel like their input is slightly wrong here. Because if it's a question mark, then we need to add in a slice. But I can't really do a slice like this. Because that, well, okay, I can. Can I do a slice of 1 space? That feels interesting. Letter parts dot push. I don't think I can do it. It's always going to be type slices now, right? Like I can't do an actual string now, can I? Can I do that? Found nothing. Thread main panicked at byte index 104 is out of bounds. Row length 107, 107, 107, 101. Why is the row length suddenly shorter? Wait a second. Why is... So it's on which pass? First pass 107, second pass 107, third row 107, fourth 101, because it just ends right there. They're not printing all the way out to that. They're not giving spaces for those. They're just, oh my. That is really annoying. How am I going to find this specific line right here? And this one's also going to be one shorter too. That just, oh, this just seems... Every other letter is going to be fine. The question mark is not. And that's just really annoying. I mean, I kind of want to just fake it then and just say, like, well, but I can't because they may change the size, the letters, and other things. Then the question mark would have to be bigger correspondingly. So why would they do that to us? So the question mark ruins everything. What is this one? Manhattan with another ASCII representation. Oh my gosh. Interesting. I didn't even come close to printing correctly here. But this one is already like still it's just really annoying for this because the it just changed the rules of how that works right here. So, and I feel that we're so close to this one too. So like there was this question mark. If it's this first one, so can we tell which row we're on? Do we have an index for that? So we have for I here in the height as usize. We're losing it right here. So I'm gonna need to change this. I can't use index. So multiplier, this is alphabet get letter size. How about? Means you change to letter size. You are this question mark, so we don't care about the I. Okay, so that should still work for only one, right? Okay, good. God, that row length anymore. You're just annoying me. Okay, so that is working kind of, sort of. What are we gonna do for? What are we gonna figure out? What are we gonna do for this one? It's we can. I guess it could be a string slice of a space, but I don't have a space there. I guess what we need to do is just say we can't hard code it because we know they're gonna change that. Instead of like hashes, they're gonna put something else in there that we can. So what can we do for that? We can put in our inputs again. So we have the I from this loop right here. I as it goes down. We know that as we come to the end, question mark looks like this. We can well, wait. If we take a look at this one and had it with another ASCII representation, we notice that it's big like that. This one should actually work better because they're going all the way to the end, except maybe this last one right there. But maybe we can deal with that. But also there's no question mark in that one. Only in this one do we have the question marks. So it's in this last spot. Start right here, and we go in. The first time through, this is fine. The thing is, they're not adding these last spaces. So instead of the 4 that we normally get, we only get 3. And then with this one, we get 3 also because of that one right there. We get 3 right here. And then suddenly there's nothing. We could calculate out the size, right? Because we know if we take a look at what we have, if we have we know what the row.length is. The row.length is 107. And if we have the number of the question mark, which is 26, so if we take 26 and we multiply it by the 4, which is the width, that is 104. Okay. That is going to be our starting position. So in here, start is going to be L times question mark. Okay, so this is correct. The start is going to be L times question mark. The end is going to be start plus 3. But in reality, we don't need to care about the end is like has anything to do with start. It's going to be the row dot length. We just go to the end. Then the next thing is if start is greater than end, we just push in this empty space. And we may end up needing to do that anyways. But we could say, okay, if start is greater than end, we don't want to do anything at all. Maybe what we should do is actually the other way around first. So if start is less than end, we want to push in this. Otherwise, we want to push in just nothing at all, which is this empty line. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's like that. Let's try it. It tried, but it got way off. It's definitely closer. So found this. Well, this first M got in, which is correct, and then it was supposed to be expected nothing. I was expecting a question mark. Which it almost kind of did. Hold on. Why did it expect nothing on this one? Or was that just one of the failures that it got? Like, and we don't know which line it was. It might have been this one that it expected to do all. Else, we need to letter parts dot push. We need to push in like 1, 2, 3, 4, essentially. To pretend that we're maybe one less. Oh, one more, 2. Oh, really close again. feel like found expected. It's like we're do I not need to do that one? Okay, so found this expected. Maybe at the end of this we do another letter. Art.push. I'm sort of guessing at this. Okay. What does the question mark look like again? They show us. It is coming in as a question mark, and then we're getting, oh no, look, question mark right there. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. On this first time through. The second time through, and after the 8, oh, look at that, that's off. The H is off. So this is here, and then this next one is off. So do we need 2 spaces there? That's shifting everything over to the right. Let's remove that line and sort of see what we're getting by default. So we have nothing, we have no gaps between there. So if we put we've put our gap in here, letter arts.push, empty, just a space. Here's our question mark, and that's correct. This one is off right there. And then it's also off on this next line where, oh, because it ends short. So, first of all, you can be one more, and that should fix this line right here. And the thing is, this is going to need to be dynamic, isn't it? This needs to be the number of spaces that is based upon the L. It needs to be 4, right? Let's try it. Yeah, so this is the N. So that looks correctly on this one now. So this one needs to be how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to put 4. This is going to be the easy way to do it, which is 4 space in zero dot L, and then we're going to just do letter arts dot push and empty space in there. So that should still be fixed on this one. And it is. Okay. So now the one below that is the last one. So else, if on the very last row, if we're on the last row and we're a question mark, which means that I is 1 less than H, then we need to put in another space. Oh my gosh, this is so terrible. But I can't actually think of a better way to do it right now. But if I is 1 less than the last row, okay, so that's at the very end of all of this. So not including these. If start is less than end, So this, we're in here. So we have this push 1, but we also, so we can put that push in here also. So another nested loop, nested if statement. So if I is less than it's always going to be less than, isn't it? Because it's non-inclusive for that loop. So if I is less than h minus 1, then letter parts of push, we push in a single space. Else, we push in 2. Like that. Mismatch types. What did I do wrong? If I is less than h, expected U size, found I32, h as size. Then it works. All right, let's just try this one. It did not work. It's not even close to working. Failure found just this. So just with the first line, it was failing. Expected this big, huge old thing. So if we take a look at what we got here, Manhattan with another ASCII representation, we need to go all the way through all of this and to print these out. So what's going on here? Yeah, I was expecting to go through the, is that a comma or a dot? It's something. Starting here, going through here. And we got 2 of them only. We got the dot and 2. So what happened here? So we got our string for the line, for the row. So we got the row. Oh, the alphabet. We're making the assumption that the, oh no, that shouldn't work either. So for M, let's say, that's starting here, going in. Well, it's 6:30. It's time for me to go grab dinner with my wife, and I'm gonna go walk around afterwards and see what there is to be seen on this July 4th. But I came so close to defeating this one, but this last craziness one is not having it. And I think it's only because I'm not sure exactly what it is yet. I'm gonna have to look into why start +4. I need to start +L, right? That works. Let's play all tests. Does that just make it magically work? Yes, it made it magically work. Okay, then let's go ahead and submit this and see if it works. The following validators differ from the puzzle test to prevent hard-coded solutions. This is why you can have some fails here, even if all the tests provided in the ID have been successfully passed. Wait, what happened? I got nothing. I got 0. 0% on it. Give me the details. Test only one letter G. Can I see the output at least? Can I change the test? Hold on, let's make this nice and big here. Can I add my own tests in? I can't say something like G. No, it won't let me do that. But I could say instead of letter, alphabet letter string, mute letter equals this, and then I just say letter equals G. So just changing it for me. I could even shadow that. I'm actually not I don't need this to be mute, do I? That's only one letter. No method, as stringed, found for type stir. Okay, so this needs to be a string from. Needs to be a full string, that's fine. Test for one letter, G, and I got question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, what happened to my if? Didn't I have an if statement in here where if it was like an unknown thing? Did I somehow lose that? Yeah, we need to continue. I don't see that anymore. Oh, if letter. Is that continue on to the next row, and we don't print anything out. Oh, you know what? Because we need to put the rest of the letters in here. That's why. So we can put. All right, let's see if I can do this quickly. So A, we need. Oop, don't want to open up bookmarks. A, B, C. I wonder if I can do. I wonder if there is a way for me to easily iterate through this. I think. Rust. Oh wait, I know. It's there's an online IDE. It is. I just forgot. I forgot what it's called. So IDE Rust. Let's just see what we can. Online idle. Rust Playground. Try this. So in function main, don't need longest here. Function main. All I care about is, can I play around and see like get like the characters for it? And is it something like 90 is the character? So can I do print line and it's going to be something like it's got to be like a U8, right? So if I do let $90 U8, I can just start with 90. Let's try let 90. So let C equal 90. Or I'll say code because it'll make a little bit more sense here. So I do want. Hey Chantilly, welcome to the stream. Okay, so C equals 90, and I want to then print out C as a char. None. Cannot compile playground. Only U8, so yeah, it is, and I am correct. 8. Run. Z, okay. So how do you create the art? By creating it line by line, or create logic for each letter and then combine the logic for all the letters to display? It's actually, it's pretty simple in here. What they're doing is they're handing me a bunch of rows that has the sort of art already done with it, and I just need to choose which parts to print out in that line. The only problem is that they kind of screwed up the question mark part of it, but everything else is pretty good and working. The only thing is that I forgot to put in the rest of the alphabet, which is why it didn't work. So now I need to say, okay, if that's Z, what is 90? How about like 120? X. So I was not that far off. How about 105? I try 98. B 97. Okay, so don't get it, but okay. So it's a little bit confusing the way they ended up doing this. They hand me a string, which is this entire line right here, all the way down. So I then get that as a row here. And then I have to choose along that row, along the horizontal, which ones to actually print out, all on a single line. And then the loop continues, and they're going to hand into standard in the next row, all the way down. And then I choose to print out. And of course, if I print those out line by line, then we get the well, what looks like the ASCII code. So let's see. So I've got 97 U8. I can now loop through this. This is going to be A. A is 97 U8. Let Z equals 97. Let A plus 26. I think 26. That should make the 26 a U8, but I could also make it for full if I want to. Then we can for loop. So for I in A dot Z. I probably want to do like the N Z plus 1 to make it really easy to see. And then here I want a print line. It's going to be the I as char. So let's see if we can get the entire alphabet. Oh, we got too much. So like that. There we go. That's what it is. And we're going to want to put this in as -1 into here. Because like we have the A, it's gonna begin as 90. This is okay. What we're doing for here is we're just calculating out this side of things. We're also gonna have to have something else for that. So we have let me alphabet equals hash map new. Let's go ahead and now create this code to set this up. So we'll say let a equals what was it, 97 u8 97 u8. Then we want let z equals a plus 26. Okay, so now we're gonna loop through, and we also want our counter, right? So let counter equals 0 to begin with, and then we're just going to insert them in. So now we do the for loop. So for I, we're gonna lose I, and it's gonna be created here, but that's fine. So I'm okay with that. So for I in, and I could actually just do like C for the character in a dot z, and I want to push in, and then we're gonna have the counter increment as well at the end. So we're gonna say alphabet dot insert. On the left, it's going. Is that actually giving me characters or strings? As char, and then I want to string from this too. String from that. String from is not okay. So can I do Rust? Because I don't want it to care. I want an actual. I mean, I guess I could put it as a char in there, but a full string would work with the rest of my code really easily. So Rust char to string. Is there a to string on it? I want char. Actually, I could just search. Char. Standard char. Those are macros, not what I want. I want not necessarily like a module character. I want primitive type char, 2-digit. Is there a to string? There's a from string. Can I as string it? So instead of string from, so if I do I as char, wrap that in here, and then as string, oh, I lost a parentheses here. Note, an as expression can only be used to convert between primitive types. Consider using the from trait. And I don't think that any of these, like to string, are really working for us here. Oh, to string worked. Okay, perfect. So alphabet insert. We're on the left-hand side, we're gonna want our C as char dot to string. And then on the right-hand side, it's going to be counter. And then we're going to want to counter. Counter is going to be mutable. Counter plus equals 1. And that should give us the full alphabet that we had before. So if we test with E, didn't work. Oh wait, we ruined it down here, didn't we? From G should be letter still grabbing from there. Let's play all tests again. Okay, let's try this. All right, so much better. We got 90% on this one. Test full alphabet in caps. I don't understand why that wouldn't work. I don't know which one I missed. I wish they gave some kind of like feedback of what it was. Because if I go into the details, it just disappears. However, 90%, I am happy with that. So I am just gonna rate that okay, because that question mark thing drove me crazy, but I got it. So that also, achievement unlocked, at least 50% of that. I'm okay with that. And that means the next time we do this, we'll go on to one of the other ones. Oh, it's just gonna sit here as 90% done. If I figure out what's going on and I fix that, I'll let us know in a future stream. But other than that, it is past time for me to go get dinner and maybe go walk outside or do something that doesn't involve sitting indoors working on a computer. So with that, thank you for stopping by and watching. I normally do streams every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Today I didn't have work, so I was able to do a little bit of streaming in the afternoon after all of my my chores were done. And I'm hoping to in the future do some of these other like not like unscheduled streams where just, oh, I'm gonna do something, let me just start streaming that. But besides that, we're going through the Rust book in the mornings and we're on chapter 13. So anyways, I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. You can find me on all the places. I have links to YouTube where this video will be archived. I have links, if you're watching this on YouTube, to Twitch where these are live, so you can come by and say hi. Please follow me if you want to get notifications of when I do go live, and then also you can follow me on Twitter to see me as well. With that, I am going to call it a day for this stream. Have a great rest of your 4th, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.